Hello everyone, my name is Tocho and welcome back to another episode of Dragon Age Origins. We are down here in the Lost Orton Tig, searching for Paragon Branka to bring it back to the surface, because Lord Harrowmont believes that, you know, her word carries extra weight than it does the other council members, so having her approval will force them into a decision, essentially. While we were down here, we also discovered some documents regarding the creation of golems, and turns out that they are, especially in regards to Shale here, though we don't know much about them at the moment, because they don't remember. But the golems are created by infusing a living dwarf body with a bunch of lyrium and then forging stone around it to like extend their body. So there's somewhere in the middle of all this is a dwarf. Very, very unpleasant process from what was described. The person responsible also apparently built a rather famous mausoleum, which I think may have been the start of a line of research to do that. But we are heading to the Dead Trenches in search of Branka, because that's where it was suggested she's going next. The Fortress of Balnamer. Now, Balnamer, isn't that the name? I'm pretty sure Balnamer is the name of the mausoleum that we're told about, and I thought he said it was north and west, so I figured it'd be up here. Unless I'm thinking of two separate places. Oh, that's pleasant. Okay. I guess speaking of Darkspawn, we also discovered, well, we speculated in the last episode that it could be possible that Darkspawn are just people who have... Oh, look at that. They are probably people who have just fallen to Darkspawn corruption and then end up turning into Darkspawn, which raises some questions as to the nature of Grey Wardens. Especially in terms of Ruck, who is in all technicality also a Grey Warden, even though he's much farther along in turning feral, which is... hello? Oh, we're moving ahead. I stepped too far. But anyways, statue of Branka? What are we talking about? We're talking about Grey Wardens and the Darkspawn. So, there were some implications that came up that, you know, suggest that Grey Wardens... We know that they experience what they call the calling, which is something that drives them to come to the deep roads. They don't say what happens afterwards, but based on things that we've seen, we can only assume that it's, them losing their humanity, essentially. They're being called towards the Archdemon, and they can't resist it anymore, and we can only assume they turn into these things. And one thing that is interesting, though, is that if that theory is true, because we speculated that these types of Darkspawn are dwarves, originally, the shorter versions. The shorter versions can use magic, so I wonder what in the Darkspawn corruption would cause them to overcome that physical incapability to wield magic. But anyways, let's look at the statue. We are losing the war against the Darkspawn, slowly, a few men at a time, but losing all the same. The warrior caste is dwindling with each generation as more able-bodied men perished in their prime without fathering sons. With each generation, more of the deep roads had to be sealed, more tags lost forever. The kings of Orzammar watched, and wondered how long it would be until nothing remained of our people but the memories. And then the Paragon Branka arose from the smith caste with a new weapon, golems. Giant soldiers of living stone and metal. Each one was an army. With the Paragon's golems, we began to retake the lands we had lost. For a while, there was hope that the final victory was coming. But at the height of the war, Paragon Branka disappeared, and with him, the means to make golems. Several forays were made into the deep roads to search for the Paragon, but nothing was ever found. Over time, the golems we had were damaged beyond repair, and we began to slide once again towards extinction. Okay.
Atrasvala, Grey Warden. I've never seen one of your kind in the deep roads. In the Legion of the Dead, we abandon our lives to be free of fear, free of hopeful blindness. The coming blight is obvious to us. The surprise is not that you have come, but that you have come in so small a number. What do you want here, Warden? Who put this dull idea in your head? We got other things to worry about in Orzammar. Ah. Now I see. The Deep Lords in the Assembly can't make up their minds, so the Pretenders need added influence. I get that right? Warden, you've got your work cut out for you. Paragon Branka is dead, everyone with sense knows it. Past our line, the Darkspawn kill everything.
Then move your line.
I'd gladly lead an assault through the dead trenches, but without an ass in the throne, we have no orders. I won't take fool's gold from a Pretender. You want to go digging blind? You go right ahead. We die in the eyes of our brothers so we can fight without fear. It offers redemption for the promise of the greatest sacrifice. That's all you need to know. To say more invites judgment, or worse, imitation.
Okay, that's interesting.
Like dusters, I've heard of respect. Never seen it. And if it exists, it wasn't meant for me. But if you're looking for paragons, you may as well look for the anvil, and endless lyrium. Good luck, Grey Warden.
So the Legion of the Dead. Like, the documents we found on it flat out say that it was essentially a mausoleum, but apparently that's more in a figurative sense, because it's a city of people who are dead to the dwarves. Because they're like very tight-knit in family and clans and all that. These people have given up all their like titles and assets and political sway to come to, I'm assuming this city, Boisemere, whatever it was called, the City of the Dead, to defend Orzammar. They still call it a mausoleum. So that means that Caradon, who made the city for the Legion of the Dead, has always been his first, like, only priority has always been to, like, raise an army to, you know, push back the Darkspawn, which he made the city, the Legion of the Dead, first, and then found out how to create golems. So the line of thought is there. It's not exactly the way I was thinking it would be. So many of them. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. There was a literal army of them right down there. Are they still moving out, or can we not see down that far? Okay. Also, Ruck mentioned that the dragon, the archdemon, stopped calling a while ago. He has been gathering the Darkspawn down to the south, which is around where Ostagar and the Kokari Wilds are, where they first popped up. Ruck mentioned that the archdemon stopped calling the Darkspawn for some reason and hasn't heard from him in a while, but now he just shows up here and has everyone move out. Oh, that's an ogre. Oh, this isn't fun. Holy shit, Alistair! He was already dead! That was awesome, though. Like, he already exploded, and I got the experience for it and everything, then Alistair just goes fucking ham on him. Hello? That's unnerving. Especially because Tocho's always on the back line. I don't want to have to deal with shrieks. A 913 Year of the Dragon. The Blight is building, though it is years from being named by the surface, but the memories know the signs. The Legion has lost Bonamar, though in truth it was lost to the living long ago. The Spawn are moving freely and have numbers even the memories haven't seen. They will surge, release. We will fortify and follow. This is the way, and will always be so, until we fall and the surface wonders what has changed. I haven't figured out the, I know I've got a codex entry regarding the, like, calendars and dates. I haven't gone through that yet, so I'm not sure exactly what the dates are attached to these. But I'm assuming that that particular entry is relatively recent. Yeah, you guys couldn't have pushed up this far. It wasn't that hard. Okay, well, where do we go? There's something over here. Oh, there you are. I'm starting to notice these fractured stones. They mentioned that Branka would like chip sections off of walls periodically. Is that what this is supposed to be? Like marking her trail? Okay, well I guess this also actually does function as an actual mausoleum. Okay, we've already read that top section, so... Before the Darkspawn, the stone held an empire. Dozens of tags, each cavern a shade of dwarven pride. Communities separate but united. They fell by degrees. Ruins crumbled into tombstones, a forgotten glory. But the stone is a living history. Its absence can reveal more than constant scrutiny does. As the stone shifts, she chooses what remains buried, and what must see the light. The Shapers must return. They must walk the lost way so the children of the stone can see what has been surrendered and what can be gained. This sacrifice of the Shaper. Or this is the sacrifice of the Shaper. I take it the Shaper hasn't been down here in a while. For obvious reasons. The Dead Cast. Dearest Gilly, I know things have been difficult since the censure of our house. I had hoped to bear the cost of my actions alone. But if I had a full understanding of the consequences, I wouldn't have murdered above my caste in the first place. I did not abandon you lightly, but I knew of no other way to insulate you against my shame than join the Legion. It is a half measure that has earned me no right to seek you comfort. But please, I beg you, for one moment of foolish optimism. There is talk of a new soldier, a noble. The things I have heard, I will not curse them by voicing them aloud. But it may be a path to respectability for my kin. For you. If there remains any official line open to our names, can you verify it is real, that the House Ferald is in good stead? An unsent letter from Myas. So I guess this is, the Undead Legion would be its own separate cast then. Just the, they just don't talk about them, but also they are their primary line of defense. Oh, wait, I have a level to do. So that's a neat ability. While this mode is active, waves of healing and cleansing energy emanate from the caster, restoring health to all nearby allies every few seconds and curing injuries of allies very close to the caster. Ogren doesn't have any injuries anymore. Oh my god, it's the greatest spell ever. It's not that expensive of upkeep either. Nice. Oh, it doesn't cure my own injuries though. That's fine. May this report find the proper eyes to affect future tactics. We found an enclave of the spawn, possibly a breeding lair, but we could make no approach. There were far more spawn than anticipated, and I divided the squad to draw the main body of the horde away. I do not expect to survive, but I have made certain that most of my men will see another day. I am torn by this, as my petition will go unheard, and that may curse many more of the Legion than would die here, but I simply cannot abandon the men I have looked in the eye and called brother. Perhaps they will not thank me for this, believing themselves already dead. But where there is life, there is hope. I will not be the last to see their worth. Okay, so a slight issue I think we're running into with the cleansing core is that it seems to drain a little bit of mana every time it heals, which is fine. It's just something to be aware of.
First day they come and catch everyone.
Hello?
Second day, they beat us and eat some for meat. Fifth day they return and it's another girl's turn.
Oh, don't start rhyming, please.
Sixth day, her screams we hear in our dreams. Seventh day, she grew as in her mouth they spew.
She drew as in their mouth they spew.
Eighth day we hated as she is violated. Ninth day she grins and devours her kin. Now she does feast as she's become the beast.
Well, if that isn't a cryptic way of confirming that people are turning into Darkspawn, then I don't know what is.
First day they come and catch everyone. Second day, they beat us and eat some from meat. Third day, the men are all gnawed on again. Fourth day, we wait and fear for our fate. Fifth day they return and it's another girl's turn. Sixth day, her screams we hear in our dreams. Seventh day, she grew as in her mouth they spew. Eighth day, we hated as she is violated. Ninth day, she grins and devours her kin. Now she does feast as she's become the beast. First day they... What is this? An elf? Exotic and impossible. Feeding time brings only kin and clan. I am cruel to myself. You are a dream of strangers' faces and open doors. First day they come and catch everyone. Corruption. The men did that. Their wounds festered and their minds left. They are like dogs, marched ahead, the first to die. Not us, not me. not Laren. We are not cut. We are fed. Friends, and flesh, and blood, and bile, and all I could do was wish Laren went first. I wished it upon her so that I would be spared, but I had to watch. I had to see the change. How do you endure that? How did Branka endure? What they are allowed to do. What they think they must. And Branka, her lover, and I could not turn her. Forgive her. But no, she cannot be forgiven. Not for what she did. Not for what she has become. I will not speak of her, of what she did, of what we have become. I will not turn. I will not become what I have seen. Not Laren, not Branka.
Okay. So the men were infected and turned feral, but the women are slowly
As you
turned?
say.
She became obsessed. That is the word, but it is not strong enough. Blessed stone, there was nothing left in her but the anvil.
Let's go.
It was already dead, Alistair.
We tried to escape, but they found us. They took us all. Turned us.
Unamar. I thought it would have fallen into dust by now.
I shall do it.
The stone has a will that surrounds and directs. She guides even when we are unwillingly blind to her influence, but she is not pure. The stone bears a corruption as old as balance. For the dwarves to prosper, the gang, the waste and unstable rock, must be cut away. But like the stone, the gang also has an influence. Each of us must face this, must carve the worst for ourselves away, but the Legion of the Dead bears a unique responsibility. Only the fully adorned of the Legion can face the gang, and cut into the darkness that afflicts the raw stone. She encircles us, and we must protect her. Here where the darkness meets light. Casualty. Jurius Farrell, lieutenant, found dead with his squad. The corpse was left untouched, suggesting the Darkspawn feared his spirit even in death. His ferocity defending his men was corroborated by survivors before they succumbed to corruption. It is rare for a soldier's actual death to exceed the honors given at his enlistment, but Farrell was an odd one. An agitator, his eccentric promises were disruptive, and I fear his death may demoralize more of the Legion than actually heard the fantasies firsthand. He was committed to the stone with his insignia, an honorable burial as we can manage with the spawn at our heels. But officially, he has formed a second front. Better his foolish hopes are diluted by time than killed outright. Okay.
women. They want to touch, to mold, to change until you are filled with them.
So they turned the women into brood mothers then? Is that what I'm getting out of this?
They took Laren. They made her eat the others, our friends. She tore off her husband's face and drank his blood.
As you say.
They name it a blight, the third by their reckoning. It was just the fight to our ancestors, continued even though it shifts setting. The hordes that pressed their borders surge and release, spilling across the surface. They fortify and follow. It was not their way to let the enemy rest. The surface kingdoms declare victory. The horde is crushed, the push halts, and celebrations began as humans thank the skies and their maker. Beneath their gaze and their feet, the Darkspawn retreat into the steps of our taigs. New front lines are drawn across old. They settle in to breed. The memories say has happened twice before, and likely in the darkness before that. So that's recounting the third blight. There were 4 before, or is this the 4th?
And while she ate, she grew. She swelled and turned gray, and she smelled like them. They remade her in their image. Then she made more of them.
It shall be done.
Brood mother.
Look, guys, I was just saying the word brood mother is like a generic term. But yeah, brood mother. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. I don't know if this is going to work on you at all. Well, I guess this is our first proper boss fight then. I was not ready for this.
All right.
Manage healing, manage healing, manage healing.
I shall search.
On it.
Take it out, come on! There you go, Alistair. Jesus.
That's where they come from. That's why they hate us. That's why they need us. That's why they take us. That's why they feed us. But the true abomination is not that it occurred, but that it was allowed. Branka, my love. The stone has punished me, dream friend. I am dying of something worse than death. Betrayal.
Jesus.
As you say.
Okay, after all that, we still haven't found Branka. We heading up this way? Which way do we want to go? I also want to head over this way, because like that way would have led us over here. Okay. Looks like that way may have led over here also. So we're heading to the deep roads then.
Very well.
Ample the void. Okay. So did Branka turn into one of them? Is she like long gone?
If Branka is anywhere, this has to be it. She will not be unprepared. What was that?
Let me be blunt with you. After all this time, my tolerance for social graces is fairly limited. That doesn't bother you, I hope.
Shave my back and call me an elf. Branka? By the stone! I barely recognized you.
Ogren. It figures you'd eventually find your way here. Hopefully you can find your way back more easily. And how shall I address you? Hired sword of the latest lordling to come looking for me? Or just the only one who didn't mind Ogren's ale breath?
Be respectful, woman. You're talking to a Grey Warden.
Ah, so an important errand boy, then. I suppose something serious has happened. Is Endrin dead? That seems most likely. He was on the old and wheezy side. Then what is your involvement in this? Why would a surfacer be interested in dwarven politics? You must have a patron. A highly placed patron. And they must want something in particular. Now, what might that be? I don't care if the Assembly puts a drunken monkey on the throne. Because our protector, our great invention, the thing that once made our armies the envy of the world, is lost to the very Darkspawn it should be fighting. The Anvil of the Void. The means by which the ancients forged their army of golems and held off the first archdemon ever to rise. It's here, so close I can taste it. And you assume, after all my efforts, you'll be able to waltz in and seize the anvil without a hitch? How typically arrogant. The anvil lies on the other side of a gauntlet of traps designed by Paragon himself. My people and I have given body and soul to unlocking its secrets. This is what's important. This has lasting meaning. If I succeed, the dwarven people benefit. Kings, politics, all that is transitory. I've given up everything and would sacrifice anything to get the Anvil of the Void. Enough questions. If you wish me to get involved with this imbecilic election, I must first have the Anvil. There's only one way out, Warden. Forward. Through Caradon's maze, and out to where the Anvil waits.
What has this place done to you? I remember marrying a girl you could talk to for 1 minute and see her brilliance.
I am your Paragon.
Okay. For some reason I was under the impression that Branka had turned already. How'd she get by... What's her name? I'll have to sort that out in editing. Or at least make sense of it. You guys cleared of your injuries? Yeah.
I needed people to test Paragon's traps. There's no way to break through except by trial and error. They were all mine, pledged to be my house, and they didn't want to help. They tried to leave me, even my Hespeth. But even she couldn't understand that when you reach for greatness, there are sacrifices, as many sacrifices as are needed.
Darkspawn!
She swore she'd do whatever it took to find the anvil. There was no other choice. Most of them were dying of the taint already, but some of the women were transforming. I knew what they would become. There would be an endless supply, fresh Darkspawn to test the traps. They could still serve me, let me find the anvil. It was the only way.
Okay, well, you're going a bit crazy. I mean, practically, yeah, that makes sense, but also, what the hell, lady?
Very well.
You have no idea how they carried on, holding my hand and begging to die. They had pledged me their loyalty. They had no right to fight me. They say your order is renowned for its wits as well as its brawn. Perhaps you'll do better than my poor clansman. There's something about this place. It makes people despair.
Also makes you absolutely crazy. But that's a story for another day, I guess. So, am I to believe there's another broodmother at the end of this? Or was that the one broodmother that, she's been using to feed the Darkspawn? Or create Darkspawn? Or is there gonna be another one at the end of this tunnel? Hello? What was that? No golems. Let's get out of the poisoned area. That's a lot of lyrium.
task is finished.
Was that it? That was neat. Nice little two-phase fight. I am curious as to how it manages to be, because like the spell effects of what's coming out of the eyes is very blood magic in aesthetic. And I haven't really sorted out what implications that might mean in my head yet, but I have definitely taken note of it. Delirium veins, those were helpful. Let's see what's happening over here. Because that apparently wasn't the actual anvil as I thought it was. Hello. Is this where we find out that he turned himself into a golem? Yep.
Once, longer ago than I care to think, I was a paragon to the dwarves of Orzammar.
Caradon, the Paragon Smith. Alive?
Ah, there is a voice I recognize. Shale of the House of Kadash. Step forward.
You know my name. Is it you that forged me then? Is it you that gave me my name?
Have you forgotten then? It has been so long. I made you into the golem you are now, Shale. But before that you were a dwarf, just as I was. The finest warrior to serve King Valtor, and the only woman to volunteer.
The only woman? A dwarf?
I laid you on the anvil of the void, here in this very room, and put you into the form you now possess.
The anvil of the void. That is what we seek.
If you seek the anvil, then you must care about my story, or be doomed to relive it. Though I made many things in my time, I rose to fame and earned my status based on a single item, the Anvil of the Void. It allowed me to forge a man of steel or stone, as flexible and clever as any soldier. As an army, they were invincible, but I told no one the cost. No mere smith, however skilled, has the power to create life. To make my golems live, I had to take their lives from elsewhere.
It does sound a bit like blood magic.
So said my king. I had only intended to use volunteers, but he was not satisfied, and soon a river of blood flowed out of this place. Finally, it was too much. I refused, and so Valtor had me put on the anvil next. Not revenge. The blow of the hammer opened my eyes. My apprentices knew enough to make me as I am, but not enough to fashion a control rod. I retained my mind. You were amongst the most loyal, Shale. You remained at my side throughout, and at the end, I sent you away out of mercy.
I do not remember.
We have remained entombed here ever since, and I have sought a way to destroy the anvil. Alas, I cannot do it myself. No golem can touch it.
No! The anvil is mine! No one will take it from me!
Shale, you fought to destroy the anvil once. Do not allow it to fall into unthinking hands again!
You speak of things I do not remember. You say we fought. Did you use our control rods to command us to do so?
I destroyed the rods, Perhaps my apprentices eventually learn to replace the rods. I do not know. But if so, then all they need is the anvil to make all the slaves they need. You, please, help me destroy the anvil. Do not let it enslave more souls than it already has.
Don't listen! He's been trapped here for 1,000 years, stewing in his own madness. Help me claim the anvil, and you will have an army like you've never seen!
Branka, you mad, bleeding nugtail! Does this thing mean so much to you that you can't even see what you've lost to get it?
Look around. Is this what our empire should look like? A crumbling tunnel filled with Darkspawn spume? The anvil will let us take back our glory!
So it fights with Caradin? Good. That seems right.
Thank you, stranger. Your compassion shames me.
No! You will not take it! Not while I still live!
Branka, don't throw your life away for this. Just give her the blasted thing. She's confused. Maybe once she calms down, we can talk to her.
I really don't want to give her that kind of power.
Bah! You're not the only master smith here, Caradin. Golems, obey me! Attack!
A control rod! But, my friend, you must help me. I cannot stop her alone.
Oh, lovely. So why did you need me to break through the golem traps then? You're going down again. Okay, what to do? I do have essentially unlimited mana here, though, so that's good. Well, some golems are ours. Oh my god, guys. I spent an hour and 40 minutes trying to just doing that fight over and over because it kept bringing me right back to the start of it. So, anyways. With that fight, I got 2 friendly golems to work with, and then she had 4 of her own. The strat that ended up working was having my people focus on the ones that were attacking the golems, trying to save them as much as we could. I still had one standing by the end of it. Focus down the golems, prioritizing whichever one's attacking your golems. and then going after Branka.
It is begun.
Now the issue with Branka is, aside from being like insanely strong and resisting all of my stuns, when she hits half health, apparently she'll start running around delirium veins and make copies of herself, which is what I spend most of my time doing, running around using up the veins so she can't use them while just unloading heals on everyone. So, if you have trouble with it, that's what worked for me. Of course, I'm playing a healer. I don't know if that strat will work for other people. Anyways, let's see what's up with Paragon. Actually, first, it's the Golem Registry. You see a large stone tablet chipped with age, with a great number of dwarven runes carved into its surface. The writing is dwarven and appears to be a long list of names, each with a stamp of their house next to them. You recognize a few of the house names. At the bottom of the list are the words, "We honor those who have made this sacrifice, let their names be remembered." The carvings are still deep enough that tracings could be taken, allowing the information to be carried elsewhere.
No. Perhaps it thinks I should. It may have something to do with Caradon's words. If there is some way to make a copy of these runes, I am willing to study them. Perhaps there is something to be gleaned from them. I know not.
May I trace the Golem Registry that you found close to the Anvil of Ord? Surely someone in Orzammar will be interested in this. Okay. Hello, Stone Golem friend, why are you here? Yeah, anyways.
Another life lost because of my invention. I wish no mention of it had made it into history.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Stupid woman. Always knew the anvil would kill her.
How is it that the woman was not able to disable me as she did you, Caradon?
I do not know. Have you been altered?
I once had a pathetic little mage of a master. He did something to me, experimented on me, and then I killed him, and it rendered me paralyzed.
Perhaps he was bringing forth old memories, and caused you to remember the time when you fought at my side. The paralysis you speak of always resulted when the Master perished. As for your free will, you were always a strong woman, Shell. I am pleased to see you remain such.
I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Do not thank me. All of this is my doing, my legacy. But at least it ends here. I thank you for standing with me, stranger. The anvil waits there for you to shatter it. Is there any boon I can grant you for your aid? A final favor before I am freed from my burden? For the aid you've given me, I shall put hammer to steel one last time, and give you a crown for the king of your choice.
I thought he said golems couldn't touch the anvil.
Give it to whom you will. I do not wish to hear their names, nor anything more of them. I have already lived far beyond my time. I have no place here.
What? How does that work?
You have my eternal thanks, stranger. A trust in all Tunsha. May you always find your way in the dark.
We could have used you. Should we stick around to help for a little bit? Sure. Anyways. I mean, definitely earned your rest, but also we have a horde. Okay. Anything else worth looking at? A bunch of lyrium. I think we're just gonna head back out and see what we can make of, see if we can finally get a king to help us.
Well, that pretty much beat the sod out of how I imagined it. You ready to head back yet and share the news? Yeah, those Deshers have been trying to destroy the city for years. Haven't managed yet.
Lords of the Assembly, I call for order. This argument gets us nowhere.
Then why these delaying tactics? I call for a vote right now. My father has one living child to assume the Idukan throne. Who would deny him that?
Your father made me swear on his deathbed you would not succeed him.
I apologize for the interruption, Lord Steward, but the Grey Warden has returned.
We should let the Warden speak. What news do you bring?
Caridin was trapped in the body of a golem. This Warden granted him the mercy he sought, releasing him and destroying the Anvil of the Void. Before he died, Caridin forged a crown for Orzamar's next king, chosen by the ancestors themselves.
And we are supposed to trust this? The word of a drunken sot and a Grey Warden known to be in Harrowmont's pocket?
Silence! This crown is of Paragon make, and bears House Ortan's ancient seal. Tell us, Warden, whom did Caridin choose?
Okay. So this is like the last option to change my mind. Okay. I still think I'm going to have to go with Harrowmont, because, I mean, see, the problem is, I haven't gotten to talk to Balin. I've only had to talk to that asshole of a second that he uses as a frontman. Balin wants change, but he's going about it in a way that makes me paranoid that he's going to, like, rise to be a dictator. He doesn't care for doing things. He'll use blackmail, he'll use, like, fake documents to get his way, and if his second is anything to go off of, I mean, that's, like, the only personality I have attached to this person. Who's kind of an asshole. And then this guy claims his father made him swear not to let his son because his son would, read the room, but dwarves are very traditional sorts. So I wonder if Balin's being more progressive, that would definitely be seen as an attack on, you know, heritage and tradition and the caste system, stuff like that, so I'm not sure. Which one? I guess, as far as like a storyline thing, it doesn't make sense that I would just suddenly switch to Balin knowing nothing about him at the end, so let's just go with Harrowmont and call it a day.
I appreciate your forthrightness, Warden. You have acted with...
Only Deshers and occasional guests of state.
What?
Let the memories find you worthy. First amidst the lords of the houses, the King of Orzammar.
I will not abide by this!
The ancestors have spoken.
Would you let a surfacer decide the fate of the dwarves?
Watch out! They brought weapons!
Guards!
More enemies ahead!
Well, that's not exactly your case there, friend.
I admit I did not think even Balin would defy the word of a Paragon, nor that so many would follow him. But most of Orzammar has seen him for what he really is, and I trust we will bring this insurgency under control. I prefer to be known as a just and compassionate king. Strong too often comes to mean tyrannical, but I will not leave this uprising unpunished. Those loyal to the throne will begin preparations for a surface mission immediately. Orzammar will fulfill its treaties.
Thank you, King Haramont. Perhaps your rule will mark a new era for Orzammar.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must get to the palace and set our plans in motion.
Do I get a statue or something in my honor? No.
This is the staff I carried as King Endrin II. Take it as a reminder of your place in Orzammar. I wish you luck against the Blight Warden. May we foster another 4 centuries of peace.
Stop casting things. You don't need to cast this. Okay, so I guess we're done here.
It shall be done.
Wonder what we should do next. Probably... What level are we at, actually? 16, 16, 15, 16. We can probably go take on Plymouth next episode. Now that we have Shale. Apparently Shale can't be picked up and tossed around by Plymouth in her dragon form, so that's the entire reason we went to go get her. So yeah, I think we're gonna start off with that and then see where it goes next time. Not sure if I made the right decisions on this, but still an interesting story nonetheless. Let me just... Yeah. Oh, well, this was a long storyline in this area, wasn't it? Like, we got in and out of the Mage Tower and Red Cliff and Brazilian Forest, like, relatively quickly. At least it feels like it. But there's a lot of stuff happening in Orzammar. And we still haven't completely explored all of the deep roads yet. There's a couple places I haven't gone. We've got that weird demonic head in a bag. We should probably go look into. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure I want to do that. We'll see where it goes. But until next time, my name's been Tocho. Remember to leave a like if you like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.
If I'd heard it secondhand, I'd have called it a sodding lie. Warden, we've got a king because of you. The rest, impressive, but the Legion is grateful most for restored leadership. It frees us to fight to the Darkspawn properly. You'll have us too, indirectly. Our place is here. But when you break the Blight, we'll make sure the Darkspawn have a fine welcome home. It's more guaranteed than any surfacer's had. You alone have the skill to back up your words. Each of the Legion owes our homeland a death, but if our lives are better shed on the surface, so be it. Back to Orzammar when we win, though. I'll not stay topside to lose my stone sense.